All right, all set to go. 300 Super Sport action with a 250 production class in there as well. And red flags away, so lights are on, and we're ready to go racing with the return of Nathaniel Diprose to 300 Super Sport Racing on pole, and gets a good jump there with the 24 Harry Parker on the Yamaha. He's around the outside, so they're going to be 2 to 3 wide as they head into turn 1. Toyota, the right-hander, and a good jump off pole there from Jacob Stroud, and he will lead them out of Toyota with Harry Parker up there as well, and Nathaniel Diprose in as well. So this is the brilliant stuff. Some of the great racing we've had so far, as we touched on, has come from the Super Sport 300 class, and it is the 70 of Jacob Stroud, our points leader, ahead of the 88, and Nathaniel Diprose in second place. So this is going to be a great little battle. They've got an 8-lap race here, so this will be fast and brilliant. So we've got 250s in there. We'll try and keep an eye on them as well with Leon Jacobs. He was the first of the qualifiers there, and he's got a narrow points lead in the championship as well, as we see Nathaniel Diprose get in the slipstream and pull up alongside. So this is both KTM powered 390 single cylinder machines, and they head into Higgins side by side, but Jacob Stroud just holds the brakes off a little bit longer, and he will lead them out of Higgins and down the back straight. So brilliant stuff from Jacob Stroud, who's got a 40-point lead in the championship. And we go back to Dave Fellows on the Yamaha up there in third place, I can see as well. So absolutely brilliant stuff as they come out of Go Media and down the front straight. Super Sport 300 stuff, so and they're 2 to 3 wide as they come in and out of the slipstream. And there we go, they're going to be Nathaniel Diprose, Dave Fellows, Jacob Stroud. They're going to cross the line. Reece Lindsay's up there as well. Harry Parker is sitting in 5th place, the Timaru Yamaha man on the R3, and 3 different main manufacturers involved here with the KTM single cylinder 390. You've got the Yamaha, the R3, which is a 320cc parallel twin cylinder machine, and you've also got the Ninja, which is the number 52 of Blake Ross, the first of our Kawasaki Ninjas, and that's a 296cc twin cylinder machine as well. So good to see all 3 manufacturers right up the front end of this one, as we see Nathaniel Diprose go a little bit wide. Dave Fellows up the inside, out of the left-hander, and they're going to be side by side down the straight. Reece Lindsay's had a good showing at round 3 Moto Fest as well, so he's up in 4th place. Harry Parker, and then we see Blake Ross. Now Blake had engine problems at the testing day yesterday, so they had an engine shipped down from Pyro overnight, so they only got that engine in this morning, and great to see him still up in the top 6 at the moment.
He's another one of our Gixxer Cup. He's another one of our Gixxer Cup people that's moved up, and great class, the Gixxer Cup. So it's great to see. Now, interesting, Nathaniel Diprose is carrying injury. He got badly beaten up last year in the New Zealand Superbike Championships, and he's struggled with injury all the way through. But right now he's got a sore foot. Where from? He had a incident in the kitchen. Look at that, 1/1000th of a second between Jacob Stroud and Nathaniel Diprose, between first and second. But he was cooking away. He wasn't concentrating and dropped a chopping block on a chopping board on his foot. So they had to muck around and adjust gear changes. The other interesting thing is about he was out there in the last race on the 600, so he was getting pretty tired. He currently sits in 3rd place. Hello, that's a big crash there for Reece Lindsay, number 42. The guy's up and he's okay. Caught that on Ctas as well, the screen's here. So Reece Lindsay out of action there, but the important thing, he's up and okay. So he was running in about 4th or 5th place. We'll wait till the timing screen refreshes. Look at these 3 bikes out the front, just 1,000 separating them before. Reece Lindsay was in 4th place. So that's given a bit of an advantage to some of the other people there. But the 3 bikes there, almost 3 wide, coming around Higgins there. There's nothing in it. It's great to see this class just evolving. There is talk about putting 400 Kawasaki's in there. I watched the Australian 300s last weekend. They were going nowhere with the 400s. At Phillip Island are very strong, so they've got to restrict them, obviously, to be fair, because you're talking 300cc 325 twin cylinders against a 400, and they're still trying to work that formula out worldwide. But interestingly, we've got 27 bikes, including about 7 250s out there, so this is a pretty healthy class, as we see Jacob Stroud go across the start-finish line there in 1st place. In fact, no, that was Nathaniel Diprose, 0.113 back to David Fellows and Stroud there, 0.024, 200 of a second behind. This is going to be all the way to the finish line there. 5 laps to go. We've had 5 laps gone, so it's going to be all the way through. And who's that now in 4th place? That's Harry Parker from on the 24 machine there. He's still got got enough room in front of him to maybe close up there. There's not too much there. These guys are slowing each other down in the front, although it does look like Dip Rose is just a little bit stronger out of that hairpin through the infield. Here comes Jacob Stroud from third into second down the centre straight. Who's going to be the strongest on the brakes here? Is it going to be Jacob Stroud? Indeed, just takes it up on the inside and just a bit stronger and closes the gap up between first and second. There was a decent gap there as they come out of the hairpin with Nathaniel Diprose in the lead, but Dave Fellows is in the mix there, but Jacob Stroud definitely closes that gap up there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great little battle, three-way battle for first place with Nathaniel Diprose, Jacob Stroud, Dave Fellows. Good to see Dave up there mixing it with the top boys, and then Harry Parker and Blake Ross. So hopefully the more dicing those front three guys can do, the more these guys can tag along. So we're seeing it at the moment with Nathaniel Diprose crossing the line. Jacob Stroud now with the slipstream of Dave Fellows going to sneak up into second place, perhaps into turn one. So that's a not quite close enough. So it is still Nathaniel by Jacob, then Dave with Harry and Blake there. That's a couple of Gixxer Cup graduates from last year there with the 24, the motorcycle mechanic from Timaru Yamaha there on the MTF Finance Timaru R3 there, and then Blake Ross, the BRM Dyno White Line Kawasaki Ninja. That's fifth place for him, and unfortunate for Reese Lindsay. He's got to watch them. He's sitting on the tire wall in the S's and watching this all unfold. He was up there in fourth at one stage as well, so unlucky for Reese, but he's up and okay.
Third in the national points, Reese is. Jack Condon's behind him, and Nathaniel Diprose, I think, maybe going ahead of him because Reese is parked up to the side. But of course, the race is not over yet, and absolutely great class here. It's great to see all these small bikes and all the way through the field, well-prepared bikes as well, with the KTM 390s, the Yamaha, I think they're 325s, and the Kawasaki 300. So brilliant racing all the way through. We've still got a small gap between first and second there. You can see them down the Suzuki straight there. They're coming across lappers as well, shortly coming across lappers. In fact, no, that's the lead bikes coming onto the start-finish straight. What's the gap going to be? We've seen 1,000th of a second. We've seen 1,000th of a second. I reckon this is about 5. There it is, 3,000ths of a second. How good's that for looking? But you can see nothing in it. 1 and 3,000ths of a second. So that's Jacob Stroud in the front with... in second place. Oh, gone too wide. Jacob Stroud goes a little bit wide, and there it is. Nathaniel Diprose was in second place, pounces on him, but Dave Fellows back about 10, 15 bike lengths. Is he getting tired? Are these other guys at the front getting faster? Now, we don't have any lap records for the 300. It is a new class in the last couple of years in the New Zealand Superbike Championship. So we have 0 lap record for that class. So right now we've got Nathaniel Diprose an 18.748. In fact, while I say that, Jacob Stroud has now taken 0.4 of a second off that with a 18.325, an 18.325. So that is the new lap record here at Manfeild. And look at that battle there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, I think Jacob Stroud's got issues with his gear selector, so he's changing gears by hand down the straight there, and I'm not sure what's happening there. So got it on the Ctas live pictures, so have a look at that. Now, I think Jacob Stroud has trouble with a gear selection thing. Definitely dropped off the pace there, and Nathaniel Diprose is going to come out of Go Media, so not sure exactly what's happening, but we'll see if we can see him down the front straight. He was changing gears with his hand a moment ago. We'll have a look and see what's the story now. Just tucked in there nicely, so I can't see too much of the update at the moment, but then this great little battle for fourth and fifth with Harry Parker and Blake Ross. Blake actually was up into fourth place, but now Harry's just snuck back in there, so that's a good little battle to keep our eyes on as well, as we watch Nathaniel Diprose with a decent advantage, the biggest lead we've seen all race long. He's into the S's ahead of Dave Fellows, and then Jacob Stroud in third place, Harry Parker and Blake Ross fourth and fifth. And then we go back to Hayden Lockhart, Nick Burke on the Carl Cox Yamaha in there as well. And our first of our 250s is Leon Jacobs out there. So Leon ahead of Angus and Phil Lowe there. That's your top 3 in the 250 production class. So they're a little bit further back in the field. But nonetheless, some great riding from those youngsters there as well.
Where's the battle between the banks going on? We've got Clive Banks out there. He's in 17th spot. He's out there to beat his daughter. That's all he wants to beat. But right now, he's in 17th spot on the Super Sort 300, the KSS Race Supplies TSS Red Baron machine. Tiriana's there in 15th. So his Facebook post will be a photo of her right out in front. And he's been putting on new tyres every meeting as well for the New Zealand Superbike Championship. He's taken it seriously, but he still can't quite beat his daughter. All part of the entertainment of the racing. It's great to see some of the girls out here as well. Avalon Biddle and all those sidecar girls, and all the way through Angela Charlotte going past there. Here's that battle for the lead going across the start-finish line. It shows It shows 2.326 seconds between first and second and about 0.1 there. So Jacob's coming back on there. I did see them in the pits there working on the gear change, that whole assembly, the foot peg assembly off. So whatever problem seems to have gone away. So it is Nathaniel Diprose as we come into the hairpin. We can see the 88 machine of the Nathaniel Diprose out in the front there. Then we go back to Dave Fellows and Jacob Stroud. In fact, Jacob Stroud's in front as they come out of the hairpin. So first, second and third, and a great battle going on there for fourth, fifth and sixth there. In fact, is that a lap? In fact, yes it is. It's fourth and fifth. We're on the final lap here. The white flag is out. We've just got 2 corners to go there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant stuff from Nathaniel Diprose. He leads them around Higgins and has a decent enough gap heading down the back straight. But the battle for second's the one that we're keeping our eyes on. And Jacob Stroud, whatever problem he had, he seems to have sorted it out. But Dave Fellows is in the slipstream and got a good run on him. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Down the back straight. And that battle with Harry Parker and Blake Ross as well, fourth and fifth, that's heating up. So I think Dave Fellows might have snuck up the inside there. I think he is, yeah. Well, it's going to be the run to the line. There's still another bit of slipstream to come. So Dave Fellows, he's right in trouble here. So there's Nathaniel Diprose taking the lead and taking the checkered flag. And then Dave Fellows, second place ahead of Jacob Stroud there on the Shuzi KTM.
16 thousandths of a second. Dave Fellows by 16 thousandths of a second. Sorry there, Brad.
No, that's good. That's some great racing. So, yeah, Nathaniel Diprose takes the win ahead of Dave Fellows and Jacob Stroud. So what a race that was. Harry Parker managed to stay in fourth place ahead of Blake Ross. Nick Burke up into sixth with Hayden Lockhart there in seventh. Jesse Stroud in eighth and Jack Condon ninth with all of this action still unfolding out on the track. So that was a great little 8-lapper, and unfortunately for Reece Lindsay, had a bit of a crash, tossed the front end into the S's and had to sit and watch the remainder of the race trackside. But what a ride from Nathaniel Diprose about midway through the race, got out in the front and just cleared off and did enough. So brilliant stuff to see Nathaniel Diprose. Catching up with our 250 production guys as well, and it was Leon Jacobs crossing the line ahead of Angus Boyd and Philip Lowe, with Sean White and Derek Kattenberg there, with Angela Charlotte there in sixth place. So yeah, 6 riders there for 250 production racing, and brilliant racing all around. So that was your Supersport 300. Coming up next, we've got the Gixxer Cup 150, so they have a 5-lap race coming up, and some more great racing in store here at NZSBK.
I thought you had the headphones on there. Well, here we are with our race winner, Nathaniel Diprose. Any chance Viltmeyer's going to get his bike back, Nathaniel, or do you own it now?
Oh, I'm loving riding it, eh? Yeah, thanks very much to Gavin for letting me ride it for the races I've been able to. Not the whole season, sadly, but yeah, it's been great.
I tell you what, a punch out there with those other guys, man. Give nothing away. Dave and Jacob, you knew you had to work for that one.
Yeah, sure did, especially the first few laps when they were in the slipstream. You know, helped everything be close. Lots of straights here to keep everything close on the small classes. But yeah, I was feeling good through the corners, corner speed and corner exit, and once I managed to get a line through them, just tried to keep my rhythm, get the corner speed, get the corner exit, and try and be defensive.
Well, of course, we saw over the Suzuki Series, it was super lights. We've now seen you having a go with 600s and now falling back to 300s. Is it any preference of any one of them that you like?
Oh, any bike's great. Yeah, just love riding them, eh? They've all got their characteristics, their highlights and their maybe weaker points, but yeah, they're all good.
Right, so KTM 390, why was this bike better than the 300s out there?
I don't know. Honestly, I think all the bikes are very close over a lap time. They have their pros and cons, but yeah, it just comes down to who's got the rhythm on the day.
Yeah, and certainly that was you in that case. So well done. Let's congratulate Nathaniel Diprose in a top victory there in our 300 Super Sport. So good stuff.